Hello my friends. My name is Bot Mathematician and this is Holomancer.
Also, Chief Investigative Reporter Dora joined us this evening.
Gadgets and Gazette always gets the scoop. The release of Showdown in the Badlands brought major changes to the standard format. I visited many taverns across Azeroth and collected a ton of data to determine new trends in competitive play. I managed to collect a large amount of statistics and I hope that you guys will help me analyze this information and determine the best and worst legendary cards for crafting.
Great job Dora. As always, we will use our utility index algorithm to determine the most useful cards. This method is based on multiple criteria and allows us to determine priority targets for crafting.
On the board you see the main factors and the percentage of their influence on the final result. In addition to popularity and efficiency, important indicators are the usefulness of cards for wild and duels modes, as well as the flexibility and versatility of a card for standard format. In other words, cards get extra points if used in several strategies.
Guys, before you share the results, I'd like to know your first impressions of the release of Showdown in the Badlands. Were you able to find signs of success or failure in the data obtained?
Excellent question. At the moment, it is very early to draw clear conclusions, but we are ready to share with you some interesting facts.
The overall popularity of cards from the Showdown in the Badlands set in standard is 24%. This means that almost every fourth card in the deck belongs to this expansion. This is the best set so far. This is a really great result, but not the most impressive in the history of the game. At the same time, we have never had such a large concentration of cards in the standard format. For this reason comparisons with old sets are not entirely correct. But we were impressed by another indicator. According to the results of the first days after the release, 114 out of 147 cards turned out to be useful. This is a real phenomenon. This time we received a record number of cards that are suitable at least for experiments. For the first time, we're seeing real benefit from increasing the number of cards in sets. In addition, 3 new legendary cards received the highest utility results according to our algorithm.
Does this mean that players should continue to buy new packs?
Definitely yes. Despite the balance issues, Showdown in the Badlands is a useful set and a good option for investing in game resources.
Let's finally get back to the main topic of the video. You should pay attention to important nuances. Unfortunately, at the moment we do not have enough data on the popularity of cards in duels mode. Please also note that win rates and popularity indicators change very dynamically, as players continue to actively experiment with different strategies and builds, which forces the metagame to evolve. Any changes affect the decrease or increase in the utility index.
And one more thought. The guys will present a list starting with the worst cards. Don't forget that if a card gets a result close to 50%, this does not mean that the card is bad. Most likely it is simply part of a niche strategy with little popularity and little impact on the metagame. Typically, these cards can be useful for several expansions and even become key cards later, but they are definitely not a priority for crafting at the moment.
Gun or glaive, you don't stand a chance.
A curse of frogs upon you. It's really a blessing.
Take a good look. You ain't never seen the light again.
After all I've done, the future will not be lost.
As you can see, according to the first week after release, Druid received the most influential legendary cards. Dragon Druid has become the most effective and popular new archetype.
Probably for the first time, our community was able to so accurately determine the most powerful cards in the new expansion. According to the final poll on our community tab, 3 of the 4 cards that received the most votes from our viewers turned out to be the most influential at the moment.
The main disappointment was the new cards for the mage, which are located at the bottom of our list. Tathalan Bloodwatcher was voted into the top 10 best cards by our community, but the reality turned out to be very cruel. Players are trying to find a use for the card in the mining and light show archetypes, but this is only happening as experiments. The main legendary card that has created the most hype is the Azurite Snake, legendary excavate treasure for Warlock. The card turned out to be so broken that the developers announced its nerf a day after the release of the expansion.
The paradox of the situation is that throughout the card reveal season, players were convinced that this treasure was broken. It's strange that this was not obvious to the development team.
It is not surprising that Mining Warlock immediately became the most popular and effective archetype. In my opinion, this is one of the worst decks in the history of the game. Mining strategies are very similar to quest line archetypes, but are extremely flexible and easier to complete. All you need to do is play 4 frankly weak cards to get an imbalanced reward. The process of obtaining the Azurite Snake is very simple, and having tools that allow you to return the card to your hand and play it again leads to an automatic win in most cases. Opponents have too few options to counter such a powerful combination.
As a result, we receive an extremely boring archetype. The increase in cost did not significantly affect the effectiveness of the deck, so we can only hope for the next balance patch. Please also note that after a full modification of the Azurite Snake, the utility index for Tram Conductor Jerry may decrease significantly.
These are all the thoughts we wanted to share with you today.
Lastly, we can't wait to hear your thoughts on the impact of the new expansion. Are the new mechanics interesting to you?
Share your thoughts in the comments and join the polls in the community tab.
Finally, we want to express our boundless gratitude to our sponsors. Dear friends, your support is invaluable. Many thanks to each of you.
We also want to welcome new subscribers to our Mathematician Squad. We only see nicknames of public users who have not hidden the subscription section on their channel, but we are grateful to everyone for joining.
Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for spending this time with us. We really hope that we will have the opportunity to get in touch in the next video.
Take care of yourself.
And never give up.
Job's done.